Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reata Horsemanship. I'm Luke Brown. I'm excited to be with you here today on Training Tip Tuesday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope you had a great Monday yesterday. And the horse that I have in front of me over here, if I turn towards her, she's in front of me. This is Cora. She's a 5-year-old quarter horse that came to me. And Cora is relatively a calm horse, but there are some things that really have set her off. And one of those is a flag or even a stick on her blind side when I'm driving her around or when I'm doing lead beside with her. And she's really reactive to something on the opposite side of where I'm standing. So that really affects her. And then another thing that I figured out with her, well, she's reactive to being saddled. She does like to buck some, but she's starting to come out of that and getting better at it. But just a little while ago, this is the first time I've driven her, so I'm driving her. And so today for Training Tip Tuesday, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about driving your horse. Now, I've got a bridle on her, but I have the driving reins, or what I call driving reins. They're just a couple of 5/8 inch ropes that are about 20, 22 feet long that I like to, and maybe even longer than that if you want to make sure and give yourself plenty of room behind the horse so the horse doesn't kick you. And you want to be in a round pen at a maximum of 50 feet wide or 50 feet in diameter. If you can find a round pen that's even smaller than that, it's even better. If you get out into a large arena or even outside without borders, without an arena or something or corral, you might end up in a problem where the horse gets away from you. Sometimes driving for the first time can be a little bit challenging for horses. She's backing up a little bit. Let's see if I can. And she stepped over that rope. I'm gonna see if I can just get her stopped and stand there. So that rope is now between her legs, and that's totally fine for right now while she's standing there. But I'd have to correct that and put it on the outside of her hind leg in order to drive her around. But driving can be quite dangerous, but it can be also very, very effective in helping horses out of some issues that they might have. One of those is rope pressure on back legs. The first time that I went to turn her, as I asked her to leave when I started to drive her, she felt that rope pressure on her hind leg as I started to turn her back into the round pen, or actually to the outside of the round pen along the panels. She felt that rope pressure and she really overreacted and started to run forward and started to kick in the air, and then she ended up getting the rope under her tail and kicking and bucking some more. And we finally got her through that, and I was able to get her to calm down and get her used to the rope pressure on those legs. As you can see, there's a rope between her legs now, and she's not really bothered too much by it, although you saw her raise her leg right there. So she's still, I've only done this for 10 minutes, so it's not like she's perfect at it, but driving horses can be a very effective way to help teach your horse to respond to pressure, to lateral pressure, even to vertical pressure with 2 reins. You can get them to start backing up with vertical pressure with 2 reins. And even though when I ride, I only use 1 rein, but when I'm driving, obviously at times I have to use 2 reins. And it's really good to teach them to turn to the outside of the round pen and teach them to do it with pressure along the side, along her butt, along her back legs. And another thing is the rope, as you see, goes through, or the rein rope goes through the stirrup. I like to just put it through the stirrup so that it doesn't hang down too far. That keeps her usually from stepping over it. Sometimes it happens, but usually that keeps the rein up so she doesn't step over it. Also, as I turn her to the outside of the round pen, or I turn her to the inside, whichever way I do. Let's see if I can pick up a little bit on this inside rein and start to pick up on it. I'm working it with just one hand here. So as I start to pick up on it and she starts to turn, you see that stirrup start to raise. See the stirrup coming up? So she turns, and then that stirrup raises up as well. And so that helps a horse get over the fear of stirrups flopping. Sometimes if you haven't done this with a horse and you get on a horse and they see your foot wiggle on the side, it can set them off and make them go to buck. And if they're a horse that bucks, or a bolt, if they're a horse that bolts, buck or bolt are usually the most common things that they'll do. So this helps them with rope pressure on the halter, rope pressure on the legs, and with stirrup desensitizing, and really helps me gain some confidence in being able to ride them. This is the last step that I take And with most horses, some horses I don't drive them, but the ones that are get reactive, that might overreact to a saddle and buck to a saddle, or overreact to pressure on the legs and buck to that or bolt to that, I want to make sure and get them over that by driving them on the ground first and then going to ride them. I hope that helped you guys. I know we'll have longer, more extensive videos in our Reata Horsemanship section of Lady Horse Boss for our training videos in Reata Horsemanship. But that's a little tip for today. I hope you can utilize it. Be careful about the reins, how long they are. Make sure you don't get caught up in them. I've heard of people getting drugged by reins when they're driving like this, so you have to be real careful. Make sure those stay untangled and stay away from your legs. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Until next time, be thankful, live with purpose, live with passion, and as always, stay safe in the saddle.